Ladies and gentlemen, hey, hi, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. Verdansk, just straight up Verdansk, right? It is always on everyone's mind when it comes to Warzone. Every time they announce that a new map is going to be coming, everyone is saying, oh, is Verdansk coming back? Is it going to be Verdansk? And now the MW3 reveal has taken place, and multiple different times we've seen Verdansk in the game. However, these have all been single player reveals, and as I've talked about previously, we shouldn't always expect what is meant for single player and the campaign in that story to be directly correlated with the content that we see in multiplayer in Warzone. Now, oftentimes that is the case, and multiplayer maps will be inspired from various locations in the campaign. The battle royale map and the Warzone map will be inspired based on the storyline. However, the Verdansk return here, potentially in MW3 and Warzone, is shaping up to be even more interesting because while initially before it seemed like it was going to be a campaign specific feature and draw to obviously get you to play the campaign if you want to experience Verdansk again, we've got new details on the map now that pose some interesting questions, and by the end of the video, I'm sure you're going to agree with me, things that I'm going to point out here definitely make sense. So as we dive into it all, if you guys are new here, trust me, you want to be subscribed with those noties turned on because every single day I got you covered with all things going on in COD. And that means in the coming days, weeks, and months, all the new MW3 intel, confirmations, leaks, and rumors that surface, I'm going to be on top of, and then in between, obviously, all the meta breakdowns, the usual updates, stuff like that. It's all right here. So feel free to hit that sub button if you want to. And then, of course, if you guys enjoy the video, if you want to see Verdansk return, do me a favor, drop a like. It would be really appreciated. But obviously, the main element of Verdansk that we've seen teased throughout the campaign gameplay and just the general footage that we have of MW3 is the prison, the gulag, obviously an infamous POI back in OG Verdansk and even Verdansk 84. And what's interesting about this portion of Verdansk is obviously it's very different. It is the prison that we know from OG Verdansk, same layout and everything, but part of it is different. There is that sort of center area where obviously there's sort of like a military compound posted up. The inside of it, when you go down into the cells, is much more fleshed out than what we had back in Modern Warfare and obviously Warzone 1. Also, this mission that we saw takes place in 2023 October, and obviously back during Warzone 1, the end of modern day Verdansk, the last time that we played on modern day Verdansk was during the nuke event, where we saw a nuke directly smack right into the map just outside of Stadium. So this is, 2-3 years later, and now Verdansk seemingly is back in the same timeline. And keep in mind, everything that happens in Warzone is canon. So either what's going on here is that we are seeing a new sort of rebuilt version of Verdansk, and I'll touch more on this in a minute, which is honestly quite possible, or simply they're going to be retconning the nuke event and, Verdansk didn't have that destruction happen to it at the end of MW 2019. Now, those answers will come to us in due time, but what we do have already is the information about Verdansk based on the gameplay that we've seen. Sledgehammer has, developed this new thing for the campaign called open combat missions. This is essentially more like a Spec Ops mission in a way where it's not linear. Now, the footage that we saw of Operation 627, that prison mission that we got from Gamescom, that's a linear mission, and that's basically the AI walks you through the mission. You have a very set objective, and you can't really deviate from that. You go from the top of the prison down in, and then you get to the cell at the bottom, right? That's pretty linear. It's straightforward. You are guided through that like the majority of most Call of Duty missions. However, the open combat missions are a little bit more freeform. You can choose to go in guns a-blazing, running and gunning through a mission if you want. You could take it the stealth route. You could do however you want. You're going to be able to explore the area that you are given, and Sledgehammer's already teased this a bit. Now, one bit of information that we got in regards to these open combat missions is almost like a Battle Royale-esque dive into a map, into an area that we have not seen before. And that is this new sort of like industrial complex that we've talked about in some previous videos. This is not Verdansk, but it definitely has those Verdansk vibes. And like I said, this is teasing one of the open combat missions in that sort of style of gameplay where you're diving in, you can choose where you want to drop in and start the mission from there. That's important information because we also have several different instances of open combat missions that take place on Verdansk. During the start of the reveal during the Gamescom event for opening night live, the developers from Sledgehammer talked a bit about this new open combat experience, and we got some gameplay that was not shown in the actual gameplay reveal trailer with that Operation 627 mission. And the first bit of pieces that we see here of Verdansk are actually at the dam, and this is the dam before it was obviously changed to Summit in Verdansk 84. So this is modern day Verdansk Dam. There's actually water that is running through the dam and out the like drainage system too, which is interesting. And it's also at nightfall. So this is really interesting because this is a version of Verdansk that we have not seen, and it is a part of an open combat mission, which means the dam area in and of itself and Verdansk in 2023 is explorable to a certain extent. Now, here's the thing with the open combat missions. We don't know how much you can venture out of the mission area. Are you going to be able to, obviously, say, for instance, this takes place at the dam. Are you going to be able to wander all the way down to where the airport area would be? Superstore, go all the way down towards the prison? I doubt that you'd be able to just walk away from the mission and go and explore the entire map. But you'll be able to explore a good bit around it because obviously you're going to have ways to navigate the mission as you please. So the greater part of the Verdansk Dam area would be explorable. That's a significant chunk of this newly updated Verdansk, which is, I guess, what we'll refer to it as, since we don't know if this is a retconned Verdansk with no nuke event or a rebuilt Verdansk. We'll just call it the new Verdansk, the MW3 Verdansk. But Dam is the location that's shown there, and it's definitely shown in various different, angles and areas where you can clearly see this is exactly like the Verdansk Dam, but it is different in certain ways. Another area that we barely get a peek at is actually the Verdansk Hospital point of interest. When they're showing off some of the shotgun gameplay in the background, you can see there is the main central hospital building from that point of interest. However, the entire area around that is completely different. We're on more like built up, complexes here that have shipping containers and all sorts of stuff. We're in several areas that were not there in OG Verdansk, which also proves that this is not a one-to-one of Verdansk that we played back in MW 2019 and Warzone 1. So again, either it's built up more or rebuilt after this nuke event, or the nuke event was retconned and they just simply started expanding in certain areas. Whatever the case may be, we now have two confirmations of Verdansk in an open combat mission that have large explorable areas around them. The greater area of Hospital and the greater area of Dam. Plus, we already know we have the prison area built out as well for that mission specifically, even if it's not a open combat mission and it is more linear. So what does this mean? They've gone through and they've significantly updated Verdansk in various different places, and this is just what we've seen so far. Who knows what other missions we could be doing on Verdansk later on into the campaign. But they've created all these major assets for Verdansk in MW3. All campaign driven though. But Call of Duty is not an asset waster. As I talked about earlier, we know for a fact that multiplayer maps and various different Warzone elements are taken from the campaign with inspiration, basically. And while we do know we already have one Warzone Battle Royale map dropping with MW3 that's supposedly set in Urzikstan and has similar layouts to the Los Alamos leaked map that we saw some time ago, that's not to say Verdansk couldn't be an in-year update. As Season 3, Season 4 comes around, we see the Verdansk map introduced into Battle Royale, and we have a map rotation of the Urzikstan map and the Verdansk map. Because with all these open combat areas, they've already built out this world, again, which is kind of odd. But they've built out this newly improved 2023 version of Verdansk. It seems very wasteful if they just limit that to the campaign, which certainly means this Verdansk could be coming back as a DLC map and as an in-season map for Warzone at some point during the year. Now that's not for certain. Don't take this as 100% confirmation. This is just me connecting the dots, and like I said, I think it really makes sense with the open combat information that we have now and what that means for the playable areas that we've already seen. So to me, that's good news. Also, if you want even more good news, all week long, my discount code for Gamer Advantage is boosted to 20% off, which is 10% more than the usual code. So if you want to get those max savings on a new pair of frames, maybe any accessories, perhaps even my own custom Immortal bundle, you can do so until the end of the week. The link for that is going to be down in the description below. I had to throw the plug in there. I had to do it to him. But that said, the detective hats are on. I feel like the dots have been connected here relatively well What do you guys think? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. But that's going to wrap things up. If you enjoyed the video, if you want to see Verdansk return, especially this new and improved one, let me know by dropping a like, would be really appreciated. And if you want to guarantee you're always up to date with everything going on in COD, be sure to hit that subscribe button on your way out. But once again, thank you so much for tuning in. And until next time, take it easy, have an awesome rest of your day, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace out.